Damn, son, where'd you find this?
People don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who act like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico, they never lied.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
Yo, what up, what up? Hey, real quick. That is not the official intro for the open mics. I just want to put that out there. I gotta get some things rearranged on that side, but blessings, peace, glory, and honor to the Most High. I appreciate y'all for being here this evening. It's been a little bit since we did this, so I'm excited for it. I got some folks in the building that's gonna be doing their thing, and on top of that, I picked up my pen after I don't know how long. It's had to have been at least almost a year since I actually wrote anything myself. Yeah, I might not notice I'm a poet before anything else. That's my bread and butter. So I'm excited. I'm gonna bring everybody up. I got one that's gonna be tapping in with us here in a few minutes. I got True Whispers in the building. I got Coach in the building. Let me go ahead and bring them up. Do me a solid. Like, share, repost. Let the people know that we are live and we are active. Let's do this. Yo. What up?
Yo, man, I didn't know this was going on.
I know, right? What up?
What up?
Coach
Yeah,
is in
man.
the building.
What's the word? Oh, okay. Yeah, I told you earlier today, man. Open mic tonight. I try to do them every Friday. Sometimes it don't pan out that way, so I kind of restructure it, and I might turn it into something else. But yeah, we gonna get into some spoken tonight, man. Uh, like I said, I picked up my pen. It's been a grip since I did this, so this is gonna be goody, man. How everybody feeling though? Shout out to Chef.
Feeling good, feeling good. It's been a long day. Ready to get this spoken word out there again, as always.
Respectfully. Hey, True Whispers, man. I didn't know this brother, he can he don't just do poetry. This brother writes songs. Like he writes songs. I didn't realize what type of time he was on until I heard a few of them, and I'm listening. I'm like, okay, all right, multifaceted. I respect that. Not mad
Yeah,
at that at all, man.
I dabbled a little bit. You have to thank Suno for that. I wanted to try something different, so I said, let me see how my poetry works as a song. Because there's a program that I'm planning to join up, so I wanted to see if I'm a good fit for it. So I gave it a chance, and I'm surprised at how well it turned out.
Respectfully. Hey, before we, get into the festivities, let's do like a quick little recap, man, because today was a pretty dope show. Like, I mean, I'm talking about earlier, we spoke about men's mental health, right? And it was a lot, man. It was a lot of gems were dropped. But since I got another brother in here, man, just to ask a quick question, man, how do you feel about the state of men's mental health?
Oh man, honestly, I feel like men's mental health is really taking a back seat in today's society. Right? We're always talking about, how women are this and women are that and women want our money and this and that. But reality is that none of that matters. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care how much money a woman wants. I don't care if she wants to go 50-50 or not. I just care about how well can you treat my mental state. Because I find nowadays that a lot of women don't know what to bring to the table. And we men have to try to figure it out constantly. And then when we bring what we want to the table, then there's a complaint. So I feel like for me, men's mental health is really taking a back seat. A lot of the red pills is always about, women want this from me, women want that from me. I was like, what do we want for ourselves as men? And let's focus on what we as men want. What's going to make us stronger? What's going to make us bigger? And you'll get guys talk about, oh, let's just go to the gym, work out, make a lot of money. But I'm like, but you're missing the most important part, and that's working on the inside, who you are as a man. Work on who you are inside, because you can get all the muscles you want, you can make all the money you want, but if you're still gullible, you're still gullible. You just have more money and more access to foolishness. That's it. So mental health, yeah, we really need to check in. We need a more solid brotherhood on that aspect. That's how I see it.
No, yeah, I agree. Like you said, we had a pretty good conversation earlier, touching on all those points as well. And that's what I was just saying to him, man. It's just people just got to start speaking up more. You know what I mean? Everybody's so quick to defend women. Let them defend themselves, and men, you need to start speaking up for yourselves. Everybody worry about themselves. Taking care of themselves first. And I think that's a good launching point, leading in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Let them defend themselves, man. We don't need to defend them no more. We got to defend our own. Right? Not a lot of brothers out there keep each other accountable the way they should. We say we do, but we really don't hold each other accountable as much as we think. We're all over the place. I mean, like, when I lost my mom and I was trying to talk to my homie, all he could say was, "Yo, just keep your head up, little soldier. You got this." Bro, I want to talk about it, but he's like, "Nah, hold your head up, soldier. We got this." I'm like, "All right, bro. I feel you. I feel you. You're right. You're right. I'll hold my head up." Meanwhile, I'm dying inside, but you wanted me to hold my head up. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to say, right? Like, yo, but that's how we are as men. Just hold your head
Yeah,
up. Hey, you
yeah,
got this, soldier. You got this.
yeah. I would just say right there though, that's when we got to learn to say, "Hey, look, man, I need you to shut up and listen for a minute."
Exactly.
You know? You know what I mean? That's what you gotta learn. Hey, look here, man. Shut up. Listen.
Exactly, exactly.
You know
Give
what
me
I
a
mean?
few minutes of your time, man. Just
Right,
hear my
right,
voice
right,
for a
right.
quick second, man. Just give me 2 minutes. That's all I ask for.
Facts, facts. Yeah, I think and that's what I mean by speaking up for ourselves. You know, because what happens, man, we get hit with rejection and we just shut down. But if you just muscle through that one piece of rejection to actually let them know what you really want, then the conversation can start. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Gotta break past that barrier, then everything is hunky dory from there, I guess.
Right, right. Exactly. And that's
Hey
all. You
man,
just take it one barrier at a time, brother.
Yeah, that's all you can do, brother.
damn man. I got distracted over here. But a lot of good points. A lot of good points. Um, I ain't even gonna be able to give the feedback that I want to because I'm kind of like that. But I got D the Divine in the building. Um, I'm gonna bring her up here to the screen. Y'all do me a solid. Make sure y'all go show her some love as well. Um, what's going on?
Nothing much, nothing much. It's been a great week and I'm just happy to be here. Yeah, and I caught just a snippet of what you said about rejection and I've been in those shoes. So like coming out of that and seeing it on the other side is a beautiful thing because I guess as a poet, as a writer, as a creative, I love the wisdom that comes from experiences like that.
I agree. Absolutely.
Let me ask you one question before we actually start with the show, with the spoken. Um, do you think that people care enough about men's mental health? And this
No.
is coming from
As a woman, no. As a woman, no. As a woman with a son, no. Because we spend a lot of time catering to women's needs, which is a great thing, but oftentimes we get caught up to where we'll neglect how men feel. And we live in a society where men are naturally told, especially black men, told to conceal their emotions, hide their emotions, don't feel, be like a stone to the world, be a rock, be hard. Because if you show any signs of weakness, that they infringe upon your masculinity. When men, women, especially black men and women, we need that balance, and it's not talked about enough people don't create safe spaces for black men to be able to voice how they feel without attacking them. Like, you got to be able to hear them and not attack, because we are all wounded in some kind of way with our relationships. So to be able to create a space or hold space for a black man, or I don't want to just make it black, but
Ain't nothing wrong with that. You got to take care of home first.
exactly,
Yup,
exactly.
yup.
um it's just that it's not talked about enough, and it's like, me as a woman with how I am naturally, I try to make sure I hold that space because I've been wounded before. I don't want to bleed on a man and disrupt his mental health, because a lot of men and women, we have parental wounds that we're all healing from, and men have mother wounds because of the broken home dynamic that has been force fed in our society, especially in our community and in our culture. So simply put, no, there's not enough space, or it not talked about enough, for black men's mental health.
I'm glad you said that. I had to ask, especially because it's easy for us as brothers to touch on this because in this space we're already accustomed to it. Like, go out there and come home, and that's it. No outlet whatsoever. So the only time we'll most likely get to vent is through sports or some miscellaneous interest that we share, but outside of the house or the bar or whatever environment you in, nah, we don't sit there and really be like, man, I had a bad day, et cetera, such and such. And but yeah, we
Y'all are, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I
are
was
you
gonna
good?
say that y'all are taught to wear a mask, and instead of expressing your how you feel through words or feelings, is a lot of action. So with me being the woman that I am and just analyzing, observing, and just with my past relationships, a lot of men will tend to mask their wounds through um, sex, through gambling, through different things that men encounter, because it's like y'all are taught to like bottle it in and just put that energy elsewhere instead of just being able to sit down and have someone hold space for you.
Let me ask you one more question. Is this is this accurate? When a woman says, I want you to be vulnerable, do they honestly mean they want the guy to be vulnerable, or is that just their way of breaking down your walls so that they can use that in the future as a weapon?
It depends on the woman. Because a lot of women, they'll say they want a man to be vulnerable, but they'll approach the man from a way of being manipulative. Because one thing about women, we are naturally manipulative by nature, and that could either be a man's peace or his destruction. So it all depends on the maturity level of that woman and what she's truly trying to gain from that relationship. Because a lot of people go into relationships, they end up coming in to spaces with people because they're looking to gain something instead of partnership. I think people lose sight of what true partnership is. And yeah, like it depends on the woman.
Respectfully, I just wanted to pluck your brain for a minute, man. Appreciate that. We're gonna jump into this spoken though, man. Who wants to go first? You know what I'm saying? I see my boy True, man. How you feeling? You good? You clipped up? What we looking like?
I'm always clipped up, ready to go. Always on point, man. You know, my post
All
is
right.
right here on the wall.
That's a bad. All right, this is what we're gonna do, man. I'm gonna give you the solo, and then once you done, we're gonna take it over to how can I do this? Coach, you are you are I got you. I had to ask.
I'm
I had
just
to
here.
ask. I had to ask.
I'm just here supporting you, brother.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You walked into the fire like what I can't think of his name. Um it's from the Bible, man. I can't remember his name, but
He's
Shadrach,
Shadrach and
Abednego.
Abednego.
I might get motivated off
Shadrach,
something you
Meshach, and
say and might be
Abednego.
able to say a word, but that's about it, brother. I ain't got nothing else for you.
I
I was,
got you.
That's
I was about
all
to
we
say
need,
he would be
coach.
the
That's all we need. Just a word. Just a word, coach.
okay. You the coach.
All right. I'm gonna give you the solo, bro, and we're gonna pass it over to V, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna hold up. Let me get to the solo real quick.
All right. I'm always good to go. So this piece right here basically talks about how social media, really takes us by storm, and how if we're not careful, we get caught up in the persona. So it goes like this: It's inconceivable to know that the whole world is under a placebo, watching the lost become swept up in the flow, supplied with a lie, with the passing of time. A falsified performance aired right before your very eyes. A man made pride given to those willing to take the ride, all for the simple taste of a manufactured shine, hoping to relive their former prime, shrouded in a dreamlike state, giving up their well being as they eat from the master's plate, tormented but refusing to admit it, grasping at straws of leftover vomit. And like a dog, you seem to love it, soaking up whatever social media cooks up, analyzing your mind as it erodes over time.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay. That's where we at. That's where we at. How long? How long did the writing process go for that?
Oh man, that particular piece took me about a month to really come up with it because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just speaking what hasn't been spoken, but at the same time, I wanted to go deeper into like the depths of how social media really plays with us, you know. And sometimes you got to take a detox. I know from time to time I pull away from all my social media links. I'll take like a week or 2 weeks off just to let my mind readjust and and just reset. So it took me quite a while to write that piece.
All right, look. I'll take a break. I'll start on something, then come back to it a week later, 2 weeks later. I never, because I'm not going to cheat myself. I'm never going to cheat myself. I want to make sure that whatever I'm putting out there is raw and it has exactly what I needed to have at that particular moment. SM, what's going on? What's going on? Uh, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. You ready over there? Okay, okay. Hold up.
Oh, yes, I am ready.
Gotcha.
Um, I so I wrote this piece today. Oh, is it me? Oh, it's not me.
I got nah. You good. You good.
I wrote this piece today, and I do kind of write my stuff kind of fast, but it comes from thoughts that I've been thinking for like ever. And I wrote this poem called Redemption. A little backstory is the way I've been viewing God and just spirituality has been different, but not in the way most people may perceive from me. But it is what it is. I've just kind of like learned to just understand that it's a part of my path. And everybody may not quite understand it, but this is called redemption. I existed instead of begging for my self-worth. It was way more important than your attention. I exited instead of suffering. I shifted instead of being sifted. I was being grounded and prepared. I kept praying for what I already possessed. Encoded. Pain and shame uh were never my inheritance. It could never erode. I messed up. Let me slow down. Pain and shame could never erode it or eradicate it. I was sent to Babylon, not to expatiate. It's home. I'm taking back land. You can keep your Jesus. You can keep your crack. You can keep the projection. I ride with God. I see through his eyes. I had to learn divine love to heal divine hate. I had to choose to face the music and not dissociate. I am my ancestors' wildest dream, a prayer sealed, signed, sealed, and delivered when masters made them silent, broke their voices, broke their spirit and their voices with violence. He's near to the contrite and broken. The earth will demonize me, but heaven screams chosen. Don't let bitterness rot you out and leave you frozen, fumbling your blessings, relearning hard lessons you prayed to stop repeating. Fear will shock you. Fear will shock your spirit and stop your heart from beating. Materials are fleeting. With the Most High, I'm rich. Whether He's with me in a mansion or I'm homeless in a ditch, He knows my name. I inherited my brother's pain and my grandmother's wound. Every prayer cried in silence I was sent to answer. I am the prayer from the first altar, long before religion was formed, long before the chains. My soul longed for freedom because my inheritance was never supposed to be shame. Christ walks with me. That's my brother, the doorway I was given to see. But I'm a heathen by their measure because of what the master did to my mother, father, and me. And that's it.
Oh, hold on.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Hey, that's a spirit. That's a spiritual walk. You can't talk like that unless you've been through that field.
4 years old, I've been understanding all the weird and wonderful ways God works.
Hey, it's nothing like having your own personal relationship with the Creator. Real talk, and only you can testify through your own experiences. It might sound weird to somebody else, but you know exactly what you mean when you say it, how you said it, and that's the beauty about writing is that the interpretation of it can take you in many different directions. And I always appreciate that, especially from a woman's perspective, because y'all always have that softness, but you'll have that grit to it too. And I enjoy that thoroughly. So I'm gonna drop a freestyle real quick, and then I'll pass it back over to the brother. I'm gonna save my written because, like I said, it's been almost a year since I did any of that, and I sat here. Funny enough, an hour and a half ago, I sat here an hour and a half ago, and just started going. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let save that one. I'm gonna go to the solo, and yeah, hold on a minute. Don't tell me about breaking chains when you've never seen the stainless steel taste as good as mine's, refined, wrapped around my cerebellum as the authors of pain walk through these hallways with my autograph affixed to their lips, telling me to quit. I don't understand these stars. Can't seem to find the placement. Bones restricted, eyes looking up and looking down simultaneously, getting pulled in multiple directions. On one side, the black in me wants to survive. On the other side, the black in me wants to die. Hard to fathom. Having your brain rattled, having the opinions of others pretend to placate this author like arthritis within your writer's pen, even though you're spinning, bleeding out on a microphone that has the voices of 1,000, but your version of yourself can never be duplicated by the original. Doesn't really make sense, does it? Most times it doesn't when it comes from the one that is in the oven. I'm cooking up all of these ideas and thoughts, but they're getting railroaded by the plot. Call it dry rot, call it devalue, call it perspective. I call it selective, highly objective. Man in the mirror facing 5 to 10 for a crime he didn't commit, but he also understands that his sin is the omission to his acquisition. But I digress. Here we are, waging war against the opposition, waiting for survival fittest and feminists to acquit us. But don't forget, there is a sun and there is a moon, written in hieroglyphics with your prolific aspirations, preparing to take you further than you ever expected. Salute, 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 salute.
Bars.
I'm,
That was fire, not fire, but fire.
Fire, yes.
Fire.
Yo, no one came out to play today. We all came to go hardball today. I see.
oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
We 5, 6, 7, 8. We eating.
oh yeah. I got me a nice little bottle of Dasani right here.
I was about to say,
You know
it
what
looks
I'm
like
saying?
drinks came out.
Look, I got water in my special cup.
Oh
Well,
yeah. I'm
All right,
water too.
everybody's sipping. Not
Mhm.
mad at it.
No, I can't be mad at that.
Coach he stayed with something in the cup though. I never asked him, but he always got something in the cup. I'll be like, bro, what you sipping on, bro? He be chilling.
And we know it ain't Folgers. Come on, coach, it ain't Folgers.
Now, you gotta speak, man. Poetry, you gotta keep the palate wet, and moist, so the words can float off the tongue.
Right on. SM said she got Paul Mazan. I hear you. I
I'm
hear
scared.
you.
I'm just playing. It's the vibes. It's the vibes.
Definitely.
Absolutely, y'all smoking it.
So we going back to True. What's up?
Yeah. Looks like I'm ready again.
Gotcha. All
Let
right.
me just get my recording ready as well, and we good.
All right.
So this next piece that I'm dropping is about how we were stolen from our land. So I hope y'all can follow up on it. It's called Freshly Bloomed Flowers. The scent of freshly bloomed flowers reminds me of a love lost so long ago, where passion reigned and the heart was tamed, and caring for each other was the village's aim. Walking the fields of truth and hope, as the joy of togetherness was how we coped, and the power of love kept us afloat. Times when we shared and no one was left out, the days when the songs of praise flew out of our mouths, and all you could do was let your heart scream and shout. Our hearts danced as our feet took a stance, watching as compassion jumped and pranced, even if the world chose not to shoot us a glance. Holding right to our peace, showing concern with the greatest of ease, as the hungry had their souls fed and pleased. A symphony of elegance, tranquil and true, a picture-perfect moment, turning dark skies to blue. Many stories and glorious tales carried the weight of a people who never failed, even when on a boat their faith had sailed, because the scent of freshly bloomed flowers paved their trails. A nation that gave all that it had to raise the next generation, never gave up the fight, even when there was no light, because the scent of freshly bloomed flowers reminded them that the sun will rise with the passing of the night.
Bang, 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 bang.
Okay.
Okay.
Talk your shit.
All right.
What was the mood? Was you happy? Was you angry? Like, what was the mood you was in when you wrote that?
When I wrote this piece, I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about how, we as Blacks, we don't know our history anymore, or the history that we think we know is not actually our history. So it got me thinking, like, even when we were pulled from our land and when they did the whole burning down of the cities that we tried to build and everything, we still kept our heads up. And even though we're pushed to the corner, people are still trying to mimic us, imitate us, copy us, take everything from us and claim it to be their own, right? You got Asians doing our dances. You got people writing our books and everything and then calling it our history. But, what is our history nowadays? So that's what was running through my mind. And I was like, you know what? Even though we were taken away, we still smell good like freshly bloomed flowers. And you can never take that away from us.
You smoked that, brother.
Yeah.
Chris, man. Yeah. Yeah,
me,
that's another conversation we don't have enough of.
highly agreed. Highly agreed. Is I'm next.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's on you.
Oh,
It's on you. I thought you was about to.
Everybody
oh
looking
no.
at you.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say
Yeah,
highly
I thought
agreed.
you were about to drop something.
Oh, because you know what? Because I do need to. Because I'm gonna say highly agreed. Because as someone who has grown up in the faith, because where I'm from is a very rural, predominantly white area. So, and there's a lot of broken homeness, broken. It's like a lot of the stuff of the system is still at play in my area. And when it comes to trying to open the doorway for those topics, people don't want to, and this actually segues into what I'm about to drop. People don't want to be honest and open about how much religion affects our community because of how we ended up coming across it. So trying to have that space because it's a lot of psychology with it, and then a lot of decolonization that some people are not equipped for because it will drive you insane. It will make you bitter. It will make you angry. It will make you want to burn down the whole world. Because it's like even with trying to speak about the silent pain, you're still silenced not by outsiders but by your own people because they're fearful of the truth. But I wrote this poem called Disciples and I labeled it 144, and that was my thought in mind. And I do a lot of biblical wordplay. So this said it's very short and sweet. It says, I heard they came to set the captives free, rob the rich and give to the poor. I heard they got the master's key and can unlock any door. They know the man at the crossroads and the elder who guards the gate. I heard they robbed hell, walking away laughing as the devil fell, swallowed up by the beast in a bottomless pit. Up the stairway to heaven they rose to enjoy their feast. And that's it.
Okay, okay. Snaps, snaps, snaps.
Yeah, people don't want to talk that spiritual stuff. They ain't ready for that, and I
I
know
feel like
why.
so much has been so much of our culture and who we are as a people has been demonized that when we talk about our ancestors, other cultures can talk about our ancestors, but when we talk about our ancestors, it does turn into, oh, that's demonic, or you don't need to do that. And it's just like, my ancestors, they deserve to be venerated because do you not know like the pain? Because like just as like me, I'm very spiritual and I can feel deeply, and sometimes I feel like I just feel my ancestors' pain some days because I can't imagine what it's like to especially like grow up as a woman on a plantation to give birth to a child, have that child taken from you and sold or killed, but you have to raise your master's baby, or they stole this other woman's baby and you got to nurse it to pacify the pain of them taking your child. Like my mind has been blown today because I was speaking with one of my coworkers today, and they was talking about how you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And like it's so deep, and that's what I love about just us as a culture, cuz one sentence be like thousands of years of wisdom. So yeah,
So nah, that's a fact. I wish we had more of these versus the gossipy stuff, which is pointless and it really doesn't produce any type of positive anything other than, well, we get some entertainment out of it, but how long does that really last, you know?
I believe that in itself goes back into programming and um, just a lot of the unspoken effects of slavery because it's like people don't talk about the slave mindset on how deep it really runs, because you still have a lot of people out here, especially with content creating these days, to where it's like I can make it out by entertaining people. And a lot of people like to entertain gossip, because when you start speaking truth, you might be a little Charlie Kirk, but ain't nobody trying to be all that. But when we as a people start speaking our truth, it makes us an enemy to the system, because they thrive off our brokenness. They thrive off our disunity. They thrive off us not knowing who we are. And we got to just take that stand and stand up in it and know that we are there and what we're supposed to do. And that's what I like to do. That's what I try to do with my poetry.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think we have been taught that gossip is a good thing, because we're told to go and snitch out to the master about one another. Like, hey, so and so is trying to sneak away, master, or so and so doing this, master. And then we now make that a modern day living, where it's like, yeah, let me gossip about my friend. Hey, did you know so and so is pregnant for so and so, and this, and it's like we want to spread all this gossip, but we never think of anything positive to spread, to help each other grow, to help each other flourish. And then people say, oh, we need to support Black business, but you're the first one to ask for a discount when it comes to a brother just now starting up a business. So now you're talking about supporting a brother, but I just started my business and you're the first one that wants a discount. It's like, brother, help me to help you. And then we go back to, brother, so-and-so is cheap. He didn't want to give me a discount. Brother, I just started the business 2 days ago. What do you want? So it's like, I don't understand my people, man.
But drop a bag on some Gucci and they're selling us, like, they're literally selling us our culture, even down to the patterns. They're ancient African patterns. Like, I need people to wake up respectfully and disrespectfully if they want to be part of the problem a little bit, because I'm tired. I'm tired.
Shit, I think we all tired. For real.
What Fanny said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Facts. Look, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pull up my piece, man. I think it's time for me to get this one out. I marked it 12/19/25, 7:06 p.m. That's when I finished it. This is the first and the last poem that I write for 2025. So I'm gonna go into the solo mode and we'll go from there, man. One sec. It's the first day I've bled on a sheet of paper since breached thoughts cursed the slew of men at my arrival, making air harder to read, harder to survey for self. My mind feels like a bearer named Paul, lifting death over its penciled shoulders. He begged and begged me for an autograph, but being true and raw, I renounce taking form for people with jawbones that only comprehend decrepit gospel. See, that's exactly why reclusion and I always got along so well, kissing shadows away as Tik's time bomb valiance. English language took me by surprise with closing caskets. I fear for a past forgotten. You know who you are. Stints and smells like that of Euphrates tell me how so it is that I am your constant, that we wouldn't need a sail for Galatians and I would need to go cross eyes in haunted cursive. There, I said it. The void has spoken openly. The paradoxical enigma chanting, "Mother, come home." I run no longer, nor dwell in silence. How violence things will skim the cusp of many withins until unraveling makes sense to the lethargic gin. My entire life's one big orgy. You're fucked literally for being outspoken. Took open, then left broken like a dystopian. Are you sure you want this rhetoric? Prepared to be black inked, doused in mire, forwarded into societal traffic, pitchforked, flipped until your access is now access. Because that's code of the streets. Walk and talk like a zombie and leave the obituaries at the feet of terms the soul can't meet.
Sensational.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Ooh, hold up.
Salute. Yeah. Had to get that rust off me. I still post here and there on social media, but I don't really be writing. So for me to do that within an hour, I'm glad to know I still can do it. You know what I'm saying?
It's always been there.
Yeah. Trying to be unique and different. You don't want to sound like everybody else. And I made that my business to never sound like nobody. So yeah, I'm glad I could do that here in which I, you know what I'm saying? We spoke about two different things here tonight. A little bit about mental health, and some of this was about culture. And then we had a combination of some nice poetry here. Coach, man, what did you hear so far, like tonight, in terms of just everything?
Man, it definitely put things in perspective. You can definitely hear you guys' voices through the pen. So, I mean, I think it's definitely a unique opportunity to be able to hear three different perspectives, three different ways, um, three different tonalities. It's awesome, and like you said, it just goes to again speaking to the different talents that we have as people, and like we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, it's just finding different ways to express ourselves, and no better time than now. You know, you got a voice, use your voice. There's a lot of people out there that wish they could speak. You know what I mean? Don't take those gifts for granted. You know how it is when you got COVID and you couldn't taste anymore. You was like, oh, what I would do to be able to taste or smell or to have those senses again. So just think about that and then use your voice to speak for the people that can't speak. And then like you mentioned earlier about the ancestors, if they speaking through you and using you as a vessel, sound off.
And to be fair to Chef, you don't have to really speak spoken. Conversation is an art in itself. We talk about it all the time. Some people know how, some people don't know how. But the journey, the exploration, learning how to do it, I think that right there in itself should be more appreciated. And that's what I love about doing this.
Yeah, it's the experiences that you'll be talking about. That's what make great stories. The failures, right? They're not losses, they're lessons. So you share those lessons with other people. That's what builds the relationships. Each one teach one, get back to that community, get back to that village. You know, and that's the thing is people want to hoard all the information, and they don't realize how good it feels to teach somebody, to educate somebody, to watch them go out there and implement and execute all the things that you shared with them, and now they're out there teaching people, right? And that's what you get the joy out of, not necessarily hoard all of that information to yourself and thinking that because everybody says, hey, you got a great idea. Well, your great idea can turn into a great project. It can probably save some people out there if you share it and give it to somebody and empower them who may be able to take your idea and turn it into a bigger vision and actually execute it, you know? And that's what we got to get away from is that instant gratification.
If go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I agree with that, coach. I mean, it's good to be a voice like this, to speak up for people who are afraid to speak. Some people don't understand the power that's behind their words, right? Life and death's in the power of the tongue, right? And I look at it like every defeat is a blessing, right? And every fall of life lesson. So just because you failed in one area doesn't mean you're completely done. You can still get up, do something different, rephrase, regenerate, refocus and reroute. Even when you miss your exit, the GPS always reroutes you, right? So you can reroute yourself in life and just come back with something new. So that's how I see it.
Absolutely.
Agree. Like, this is tonight. This Friday has been fire. It's a good Friday. It's a good Friday, cause you said something with me. I've always written on paper, but with me getting my voice and finding my voice, I've been learning that I have to mind my words because sometimes with the way I deliver them, and I don't know that I deliver them with a lot of power where it might come off the wrong way. So it's just learning to be more receptive, but also intentional in like reading. I don't want to say reading the room, but like reading the room, because some people are not ready for certain. You got to give people levels of truth, especially when we're in a world that is built off a lot of lies and illusions that people still follow, that a lot of people still have not woken up to, even in this grand stage of our existence and our evolution.
Yeah, and I'll just say one thing before you jump in there is 100% correct. Sometimes it's not the message and it's the messenger, and that's what we have to be careful because they already look at us a certain way, and they may agree 186% about what we're talking about, but it's you delivering the message. So you just have to keep that in mind as well sometimes too.
First line is the first day I've bled on a sheet of paper since breached thoughts cursed the slew of men at my arrival. Nobody's going to know what I'm talking about. But if I translate it, what I'm basically telling you is for a year or so, everything that I've held in, I finally gave birth to it. And along the way, there's been a number of transitions that had to come and go in order for me to stand over the bodies and give my condolences to it. Nobody would have understood what I was talking about. But see, that's why I love poetry, because you can pretty much say whatever the hell you want without people. Like, there are folks that are going to they're going to get offended regardless. But that's why I'm just like, man, fuck it. Because at the end of the day, freedom of speech is still freedom of speech, last I checked. So as long as I'm not like flaggable, right, I should be okay, right? So I mean, all in all, everything that Josh said, I agree with 100%. You said something too, D, that's on the lineup for next week about really actually it has something to do with AI, but I'm gonna hold back on that one for now. I just wanted to throw that in there because you kind of triggered my memory for that one. But one more go around as far as um what can we do to improve our mental health moving forward 2026? Just one thing. Doesn't have to be a whole lot, but just one thing for men or women who might have a lot going on. What would you suggest or say to them going into the new year? You don't want to do the New Year's resolution thing because nobody sticks to that, right? But you don't want to go into the next year thinking the same way that you did leaving it.
I'll go first, and I'm gonna just stick it to one word because the biggest word that stuck out to me was compassion. Being able to give yourself compassion, but also give compassion to others, because everybody's healing from something.
I think I'm
Um,
gonna. Oh, sorry. I think I'm gonna say look within. Take the time to look within. I think it's the hardest thing for a lot of people to do. Look inside, take accountability for who you are. Stop the name blaming, stop the shaming, stop all that. Look within and say, you know what? I'm the fool. I need to work on myself. And once you start there, then you really start to see who the real fools are, because you're your first fool that you notice, right? So take it from there.
I, I like how pretty much everybody up here has said the same thing as confirmation. Coach said all the time, like he not gonna let nobody slide with that. Even it's like, nah, my nigga, um, that sound like a cop out, brother. You better hold them accountable. Yeah, yeah, that's a fact, man. You can't blame everything on everybody. At some point, you got to say, yeah, I'm doing something wrong too. Right. So yeah, good advice. Good advice.
I
Um,
I just want to blurt out that what you just said kind of solidified something that I had started working on before I just wrote down the quote, but it's like oftentimes the you have to the people live in a victim mindset. I've been that person. But to release victim mindset is like we blame everybody, we analyze our environment, but at the end of the day, we have to take into accountability the parts where we were our own villain that made us feel like a victim. And that's it. I'm sorry. What am I apologizing for? Chill.
you good. That's gonna have to be a whole nother topic too. I'm gonna jot that one down. Victim mindset. Yeah, yeah. It's time to actually put that mirror in front of us and start looking at ourselves.
Yeah, I'll just keep mine to 2 words: self sabotage. Find out what it is and figure out how you are at fault for doing that to yourself. Once you figure that out, rest you the best of your 2026.
Right on, right on. Well, look, we about to get up out of here, man. I'm glad we got to do this. Coach, salutes to you, brother. You came in clutch. You know what I'm saying? This ain't really, I
Yeah,
kind of just
thanks for having me, man. Y'all put me on the spot, but I was able to deliver a few words. You know what I mean? So hey, I was happy to be here. This shit is dope. I think you should do more stuff like this, and then you throw some lessons in and out of there, like we did. Kind of bob and weave, man. I think stuff like this is what's more needed, than the other clickbait stuff that's out there. But hey, awesome. Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
right. Chef, you've been ducking this smoke. You've been ducking for weeks, brother. We're gonna get you up here one of these days. And SM, you more than welcome to pull up. You ain't gotta show your face. You can put the whole avatar up and all that. You know what I'm saying? Mikasa Sukasa. You dig? Got it. But yeah, man, we out. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm gonna put up another flyer for next week. We'll see how that go. And stay warm, stay blessed. And yeah, we out of here.
All right, stay up.
Love and chicken grease.